Hey y'all, welcome to Restless Chipotle Kitchen. I don't know about you, but I am done with summer. The kids are back in school. The light has kind of changed to that golden color, and even though it's 110 degrees outside, or at least it feels like it is, I'm ready for cozy sweaters, crackling fires, autumn leaves, all of the things that mean fall to me. Normally, I don't like the really gross Halloween foods. I don't like the bloody fingers. I don't like the gross boards that look like body parts. I just can't do it. But I do like super cute kids treats, especially when they're easy and kids can take part in the fun. I've got a treat for y'all today that's going to make you look like the Pinterest mom of the universe. And you're gonna love it. Your kids are gonna love it. They're so much fun for Halloween. They're so much fun for the kids to take to school for the parties and stuff like that. Plus, they don't have to be for Halloween. You can, during the video, I'm giving you tips about how to make them for Christmas, and you can come up with all kinds of different ideas, okay? I'm not gonna show them to you quite yet, but let's head over to the kitchen and take a look. Everybody loves Rice Krispie Treats, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. And these are so cute for Halloween. You can make them so many different ways. I'm going to use colored candy melts, the green ones for the monsters, and the white ones for the ghosts, and candy eyes. I have about 500 different kinds of sugars and sprinkles so that I can just let my imagination run wild. And I'm even going to put them on these paper straws for sticks. What you're going to need, besides the candy eyes and the sprinkles that you're going to use, and whatever color candy melts, I'd suggest green or purple for monsters, white for ghosts. You could use the dark chocolate ones for bats or spiders, or kind of whatever you wanted to do. You can also get candy like the real thin licorice, black licorice laces. Those are fun to use for different things. Just let your imagination run wild with this. Remember that what I'm going to show you is just the basics, and you can take it and run with it and just have a really good time with your kids. I was going to make this with my grandson when he was here, but I can't put kids on video on YouTube or it causes a problem. So I really think that this is like the perfect activity to make with your kids in October. It's just so much fun, or to make in like a classroom setting, some kind of fun project like that. Just know that the reason that I don't do it is I can't have kids on YouTube. All right, so you're gonna need normal Rice Krispie Treat stuff. You're gonna need your Rice Krispie Treats, and there's, let me see what it was. It was 7 cups, just about 8 ounces. And then 16 ounces of the big marshmallows, the fat ones. I did not measure those out in cups because some people like to use the mini marshmallows, some people like to use the big marshmallows. So if you have a kitchen scale, just measure out 16 ounces, okay? And then 1/3 cup of salted butter. Now let me tell you, the butter makes a huge difference. And what I've found is that salted butter gives these extra flavor. And if you get like the Kerrygold butter or the Plugra butter, that's a little bit more expensive, I know, but it has less water in it and a higher fat content than regular American butter, and ultimately it's going to taste a lot better. So you do you on that. If you want to go to that extra, at least try it once and see if you can tell a difference. The other thing I like to add is just about 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla because I like that extra vanilla punch. That's totally optional. You do not have to use it. And then I add a little bit, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt too. It just gives it a little extra punch. And like the vanilla, that's totally up to you. Okay? The first thing we want to do is prepare a 13 by 9 inch pan. I think this is 13 by 9 inch. I hope it's 13 by 9 inch. Yeah, 13 by 9 inch pan. I like these by Pyrex that have the handles on them. Not so much for something like this, but from when you're taking it out of the oven, if you're baking something, it makes it so much easier. I'm going to spray my 13 by 9 inch pan with some nonstick spray. And then I'm going to line it with parchment paper. Spraying it with the spray first kind of helps the parchment paper stick better, I think. You do not have to line it with the parchment paper, but here's the thing. If you have the parchment paper, once it cools, you can lift it right out and you can cut it more evenly. So that's why I like to do that. Once I've got the parchment paper in there, I'm going to give it another spray, just real quick, because we all know marshmallow is sticky and Rice Krispie Treats is sticky, so that's what we're going to do with that. Once you have this prepared, go ahead and set it aside because you're not going to need it for a while. All right, I'm going to set this to stovetop and low. You're going to want to do this over low-medium heat on your stove. And then I'm going to spray the inside so that nothing sticks. It just makes for easier cleanup. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And once that's done, I'm going to add butter and let it melt. Give it a little help. That never hurt. Once that's all melted, we're going to go ahead and put in our marshmallows. These marshmallows are going to take a while to melt because I kind of have two choices. I have low and I have high. But on your stove, you're going to want to use like a medium-low setting and they'll melt a little faster. You just want to make sure that they're not turned up so high that they're going to burn or scorch on the bottom. So this is going to take some time. So I'm going to let y'all go, get a cup of coffee, whatever you want to do, and I will be back. All right, once that's all melted, and it is messy, let me tell you. I switched from the wooden paddle to this silicone one, hoping that it wouldn't be quite as sticky, but as you can see, it's still pretty sticky. So once that's all melted, you're gonna add the salt and give that a good stir so it kind of dissolves in there, gets really mixed in. It's really not that much salt, but you don't want to have little crunchy salt spots in there either. And then you're going to add your little bit of vanilla if you're using that. And mix that in really well. And you have to kind of work fast with this because you don't want it to cool off. If it cools off, it's going to get stringy and hard to mix. Once that's all done, you're going to add your Rice Krispie Treats or rice cereal, whatever kind that you like. And go ahead and just add those all at once. Then you're just going to stir that up and mix it up really, really well. One of the nice things about melting it in something like this is the marshmallow does stay melted a little bit longer because the pan stays warm. If you're doing this on top of the stove, or if you've melted your marshmallows in the microwave, which I forgot to tell you, you can do that too, it's much quicker, you'll have to work even faster. But as you can see, It's starting to get stringy as it is, but you want to make sure that you get every bit of the marshmallow and every bit of the cereal mixed up together. Now, some people, I'm using the candy melts, the different color candy melts for my colors, but some people like to go ahead and color the Rice Krispie Treats. So this is where you would add, or no, not now, but when the marshmallows are melted, before you add the cereal, you would add your green food color or purple food color, whatever color food color that you wanted to do. The reason that I like doing it with the candy melts is that I can use one batch of Rice Krispie Treats and make several different designs and colors without having to make 3 or 4 different batches. All right, I think that's pretty much mixed up, and so we're ready to go on to the next step. For this step, I like to spray my hands with the nonstick spray or butter them, because that way things won't stick. That way the Rice Krispie mixture won't stick as much. And you want to work pretty fast with this, because if you don't, it's going to get too cool too fast and it won't stick together. Just lightly go ahead and put your Rice Krispie treat mixture into your prepared 13 by 9 inch pan. And this is, if you have sensory issues like I do, this is kind of the worst part because everything is sticky. Now, all we're going to do is lightly press down. If you press it down too hard, it's going to compress and they're going to be really kind of, I don't know, too dense, I guess. Press them down lightly. You want them to fit in each corner and all of that. But don't like mash them down so that they're thin and overly dense. You want some air pockets in there. That way you'll get all of the flavor and all of the crispness without it breaking your teeth. I'm telling you, this is the best recipe I've found. I've been doing it this way for years and years, and they just always come out so good. Then all we have to do is let them cool. All right, this is nice and cooled off now. I've had it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. I'm going to take the plastic wrap off, and I'm going to lift this right out. Now, this is what I was saying about using the parchment paper. The whole thing lifts right out so easy, and it makes it so much easier to cut. You want to make sure that this is cool and firm. It doesn't have to be cold, but cool is good. And then the next thing you have to do is decide how many servings this is going to be. I'm going to suggest that if you're doing this for like a class party, you make them smaller. If you're doing them for your kids, then use your own judgment on that. But they're pretty rich. There's a lot of sugar in them, and I'm sure that both the teachers and other parents will be so happy if you give them smaller portions rather than larger portions. So, and oh, by the way, in case you did not know this, I am terrible about cutting evenly. Terrible. So, I'm going to kind of try to mark it, but we'll see how that goes. See, that's not going to be even. Ugh. All right. Oh, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it, y'all. Now, if you think about it, which I didn't, if you'll spray your knife with the no stick spray and then drop the spray on the floor to make a loud bang, it will cut these much easier and with less sticky mess than if you don't use the spray. See how easy that was? I just want to remind you all about this finger. I know I told you before, but on 4th of July, I put my finger in an immersion blender and then accidentally turned the immersion blender on. So this is not dirt, it is my finger growing out and healing and everything from my injury. It looks terrible, but it was a dumb thing to do. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off the small end so that they'll be more square anyway. Don't worry about those because there's lots of things you can do with that, and I'll show you that in a minute too. All right, put these up for now. Now we're going to try to cut them evenly down this way, and we'll see how that works for me. Nope, they're not going to be even. I swear, y'all. One of these days, I will be so much better at this than I am right now. So sad. All right. Here's my secret. So I've got 12 of these, and all of them are pretty close to the same size except for this one. And I'm just going to take this piece of cut, the trim that I did before, and I'm going to mash that on there, whoop, to make it closer to the same size. Once it's covered up with the candy melt, you're not going to be able to tell. There, looks better, huh? Once I have these cut, and if I didn't make them too dense, I should be able to get these straws in them to make them somewhat like kind of a lollipop or a treat on a stick. These are super cute for parties. The kids love them. And it also makes them easy to work with when you're dipping them in the chocolate. Now, you could technically cut the straw in half and make a shorter stick, but I'm gonna leave them like that. And the way that I did that was, can you see? I just kind of twisted it down in there and then sort of patted it back in. They're going to be more solid in there once we dip them, and I'm not going to do all of them. I just wanted to show you the cup, you know, a couple of them. So I think I'm going to work on my ghosts first, and so I'm going to get I've got some sparkly, can you see how sparkly that is? Sort of sparkly sanding sugar there, and I also have the eyeballs, the monster eyeballs. And I have my white candy melts. So the candy melts will harden up pretty quick. And especially because I'm going to be trying to do this on video, they'll harden up even quicker. So I'm going to do just one color at a time. So I'm going to start with the ghosts, and then we'll go on to the monsters. I'll be right back. Okay, our candy melts are melted, and I thought that they were a little bit too thick for what I wanted. So I have added a couple of tablespoons of Crisco. You could also use coconut oil, but I wanted to thin it down so it would cover better and a thinner layer rather than a big thick layer. So what you're going to do now is you can either dip them or you can just put them on the front. Either way is fine. I'm gonna get these out of the way. if you dip them, can you see that? If you dip them, you have a little bit more, there's a little bit more to hold it together, but it's also a little bit messier. It's also good, especially with this straw in there, because until they harden up, that straw may break through. So we're just going to do it like this. There's our little ghosty. And then I'm going to put on some sparkly sprinkles. And while it's wet, I want to put on some eyeballs. And then you're just going to let that cool down, and then it'll be ready to go. As I said, you may want to paint the sides. You can use your spoon. You can use a basting brush, however you want to do it. All right, let's see if we can't get you a closer view of what's going on here. So I've got this one. I put the paper straw in there, which you don't have to do. Then I'm going to take a spoonful of my melted chocolate, and I think it's just as easy to put it on with the basting brush. But you may want to put it on some other way. Or you can even dip it. It's just that when they're on the straw like this, dipping it sometimes will make them come off, so be real careful about that. One thing you may not see is that I'm being careful to try to get it around the straw. That will kind of make the straw stay in there better and give it a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? It'll give it a little bit more stability. So there's that. And I'm going to put a little bit more sparkly sprinkles on there. I hope you can see the sparkles, because that's just really making it, I think. And then, whoops. Well, goodness, look at me. This guy's going to have a wonky eye. All right, so there's that one. If you wanted to, you could take dark chocolate or royal icing, and you could make a mouth or whatever, however you want to do it, you know, and let the kids do it. Let them be creative in how they do it. Do this one. Let's hope I can get the eye on there better than I did that one. Put a spoonful of our chocolate and get it around the straw. Once the white chocolate on there chills, like if you put it in the refrigerator and it chills a little bit, it'll stay hard at room temperature, unless your room temperature happens to be like 90 degrees or 80 degrees. So there's that. It's not going to get gooey if you leave it out of the freezer, out of the refrigerator for a while. There's that. And see if I can do this one. Keep messing up these eyes. What I'm going to do probably is after this dries, because my hands are all sugar and everything, after these dry, I'll probably go back in there with like a damp Q-tip and make sure that the eyes are clean, just so that I think they'll be cuter that way. Okay, and there's that one. You know what, I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, if you did it with brown, they would make super cute owls. Let me try to do that. That's a great idea. Don't you love when inspiration hits right while you're doing something? I do. I'm going to see if I can make this one into an owl. I'm going to use the white chocolate. I'm trying to do these so you can see them. Can you see that? Because these aren't ready to be moved yet. But let's find out if we can make an owl out of this one. I just think that would be awfully cute. Like I said, I'm not real big on the scary, spooky, gross kind of Halloween food, but I really like cute Halloween food. One thing, these straws are not super sturdy. They are more for looks than actual holding these up. So keep that in mind when you're making them. Let's see, what happens if I put brown feathers on this guy? This might be horrible, but it might be cute. Let's see what happens. I'm going to put a little of the chocolate, the melted chocolate, on the back, since oops. My dog's coming in here to see what all the fuss is about. I'm sure she's wondering who I'm talking to. I usually don't let her in here while I'm taping, but it is kind of hot in my house today and I wanted the studio open. Okay, that's not looking bad. It's kind of looking like an owl. We need a beak. I don't know, y'all, what do you think? Think that'll do it? Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to dip this in chocolate to get it to work though. There we go. There, it kind of looks like an owl, right? Just say yes, it'll make me feel better. Okay, now, here's one thing. These are Halloween ones, but wouldn't those be cute? Especially, I'm thinking about that because I'm thinking about this orange beak. Wouldn't that be cute as like a snowman or something like that at Christmas time or in the winter time? See, all kinds of things you can do with this. Okay, I'm going to put the white chocolate up and then melt the green chocolate, and let's make some monsters. All right, y'all are gonna laugh, but I was sitting here making these green monsters and talking to y'all, and the whole time I was doing that, I had forgotten to turn on the video. So the green ones are made just the same way as the ghost ones, and what I'm trying to do now with this white one is I want to try to make a pumpkin. And I know pumpkins aren't white, but I have some orange sprinkles. And I was saying that the green ones, if you did those at Christmas time, they would make super cute Grinches, don't you think? I think they would. Pat that down in there. And I have some chocolate chips here. So let's see if those will work for those will work for the eyes of the pumpkin. Because pumpkins don't have googly eyes like that. They have those kind of eyes, sort of. I'm telling y'all, just use your imagination. You can do like anything here. Oh wait, you know what? I have an even better idea. I've got mini chocolate chips here. Hang on. Y'all wouldn't believe my my sprinkle collection takes up one of those huge bins that you put clothes and storage stuff in. I like sprinkles, and I have a big sprinkle collection, and that's just kind of the way it is. All right, we'll put our mini chocolate chips here and see if we can get a pumpkin going. Oops. It would be a lot easier if I had orange candy melts instead of putting orange sprinkles on it, but I think you get the idea. Well, not as good as some of the other ones I did, but still kind of cute, and it does kind of look like a pumpkin. Let's put a nose on that pumpkin. Whoops. There you go. There's my pumpkin. How about that? So, y'all, this is really about it. This is all you have to do. Then once you've done it to this point, you're going to want to chill them, and so that the candy melts can get hard. And once that happens, you're ready to go. You can take to your party. You can, you know, serve them however. I know most people don't give away homemade things for Halloween anymore. And obviously that's probably a good idea. But if you're having like a Halloween party and for the neighborhood kids or your family or whatever, these would be super cute wrapped in plastic with just like a little bow on them. Okay, y'all, I wanted to show you one more thing before I go. I wanted to show you a super cute way to display and serve these at your Halloween party or whatever kind of party you're gonna have. Because remember, these are gonna be super, super cute for Christmas too. So what I've done is I've gotten a jelly jar. This is maybe 8 ounces, just plain old jelly jar. And I've filled it with Reese's Pieces in fall colors, but you could use like M&Ms in, you know, holiday colors. You could use candy corn. You could use just about anything. You just want to have something for the sticks to go down into. And then I'm going to take a white cupcake liner. I'm going to hold it down really tight. This is actually one of the hardest parts of doing this because the cupcake liner does not want to stay on there. It's just a tad too small. But there we go with that. Kind of roll it down. Whoops, see what I mean? Okay, try this again. I wasn't kidding. Here we go. And you might have to play with this a little bit to get it rolled down there. All right, so I have the cupcake liner on there. And I'm going to put a little slit in the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to put these out of the way. I've got a little bit of plastic wrap here. You could use pretty cellophane too. In fact, that would be even prettier, but I had plastic wrap and it's inexpensive and it works. So that's what we're using. And you wrap your plastic wrap around here to completely seal it in and give it a little twist at the bottom. Just a little twist. Then I'm going to take some curly ribbon and my scissors. And I think I'm going to use 3 colors on this one. I think I'm going to use white, black, and purple. Put this guy out of the way. I'm going to wrap the bottom of this where we twisted it with my curly ribbon. And I'm going to knot it. And then I'll curl it. And I intentionally don't have these the same length. Some are longer and some are shorter. Like how that one looks. I think I'll do that over again. Well, that's not much better. Anyway, so now what we have is this really cute wrapped little guy on a stick. I'm going to take it and carefully push the straw through the hole. And as you can see, I hope you can see, it holds it up between the candy in the jar and the paper on top. It holds it straight up and it's so cute. Be sure to look at the pictures on the blog, and I'll get some better pictures here in the video, just some still images so you can see what it looks like from a different angle than what you're looking at. But so cute, such a good way to make these for a party or whatever. It's such a cute way to serve them. The other thing you're going to want to do is tie some raffia or some more ribbon around these rubber bands so they don't show. And you don't need like 4 different colors of ribbon for that. You can just easily put this around, you know, however you want to do. Anyway, I wanted to show you that before I went, and I hope you like the idea. I hope you have fun with this, okay? Talk to you later. Y'all, are these not the cutest? Like I told you, they will, once they've chilled, they'll sit straight up on the stick like that. And I didn't do the backs, but what I did start doing a bit after I finished the video, when I was finishing them up, I found that if I dipped the straw in melted chocolate and then put it in the Rice Krispie treat, it did hold a whole lot better. But as you can see, these are pretty sturdy little guys, and they're so much fun to make, and the kids just love them. Normally, this is where I take a taste and tell y'all how delicious it is, but I'm at that age where I have to kind of watch my sugar, and I want to tell you, these are full of sugar. If you like Rice Krispie Treats, this is probably one of the best recipes I've ever come across. I worked on this to get exactly my favorite combination of marshmallows and butter and Rice Krispies. They're chewy, but not too chewy. They're dense, but not too dense. They're crispy, but not too crispy. I think they're just perfect. So if you think your kids would like these, give them a try. They're super easy, and I know you're gonna love them. I will talk to y'all next week, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to come back next week. And don't forget to check this out over on the blog. All right? Love y'all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.